Like, I'm not trying to impress. I'm just trying to be myself. And it's like, for some reason, I seem maybe like unapproachable or something. I don't know what it is exactly. I used to think that it was just my resting face, because this is my resting face. Yeah, maybe it is my resting face. I don't know. But it's just my resting face. Like, and I'll try to like do a smile, because my mom has always been like, Vanessa, like, can you try to look like you're enjoying yourself? And I'm like, I am enjoying myself, but I can't pretend and just like put a smile on my face just because, like, no one ever asks someone else to change their resting face, when it's like a pleasant looking one where they look happy with a resting face or whatever. And I understand her point and everything, but it's like, I can't pretend, because then I'll look like a crazy person. I'll just be like, and then I can't see myself, so I'll just be like, not notice when I drop the smile, or like if I'm forcing it too much. So this is what I'm gonna look like in public. Like, like, does that look weird? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't look weird, but I just cannot pretend anymore. Like, it's like I left high school and I was no longer able, like, I left high school, I got a job somewhere else. I was not able to pretend at my jobs. People were always telling me to smile. If I didn't talk to people, they were like, oh, she doesn't like us. Like, I don't know why that's always, I mean, I get it. Maybe I get it, because maybe if like the roles were flipped and I was trying to talk to someone with that resting face, maybe I might be like that. In fact, I most likely would be like that, like overthinking. But I just cannot. Even my social media presence, I just cannot pretend. I cannot fake it. Like, this is my face. This is how I am. So I don't know. I don't really know what to do about it. Don't really know what to do about it. I was constantly called out in class for picking at my fingernails, daydreaming. That's been my whole life, even at work. Oh, Vanessa, is there something more interesting on the wall that you're looking at? And it's like, it's always that sort of response. Like, is there something else more interesting that you would rather be doing right now? It's like, I'm just picking my nails. Like, I'm just daydreaming. Maybe I'm thinking about, I don't know. I can't even tell you what I'm thinking about. You just pulled me out of it. Like, I don't really know. But, yeah. And I was of the impression that all of these things were just normal. But I also thought that maybe more people were just good at masking. And, like, is it just that people are really good at masking? Because I am so bad at it. And I was talking to my dad, and I was like, yeah, so, like, I'm finding out that, it's like a neurodivergent thing or whatever. To like rehearse your conversations before you have them, or like mentally prepare for stuff, and like the daydreaming and overthinking and the masking. And my dad was like, that's completely normal. Like, everybody does that. And I'm like, I don't know. That's not what people are saying. Like, I'm trying to tell you, people are saying that they don't do that. He's like, everybody does that. Everybody has to do that. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's completely normal. You know, being able to just drop a friendship just like that and get over a friendship, that's not normal. That's not normal. He's like, it's normal. Everybody does that. You know, people outgrow each other. They just move on. Like, it's not that deep. It's not that serious. And I'm just like, I don't know, Dad. Like, when I say normal, I mean like neurotypical. Like, I'm like, I don't think that's neurotypical. Like, he's like, of course I'm going to rehearse. Of course I'm going to come at things at a different angle. And like, you know, in order to talk to people, you know, of course I'm going to have to mask. Everybody masks in some shape or form. And I'm like, I mean, you know what? I just know my experience. I can't speak on someone else's experience. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know. But yeah. Also, this black coffee is pretty good. I think I'm definitely gonna have to have another cup of coffee, but with milk. Just because, I mean, I'm trying to take myself. I want two. I just want two. Like, you know, like you have like your own separate cup of coffee that you like that just scratches that itch in your brain. That's what milk and sugar in my coffee does. It's like me having dessert after a meal, you know? But then, like, this coffee, this black coffee, it's like I kind of been craving black coffee. So it's like I need both. Like, I need to drink a cup of coffee that's just black, and then I need to drink a cup of coffee that has milk and sugar. Ow. I'm getting sore right here. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna have another cup, but my phone is currently on the heavy cream right now. So good. Like, the coffee that I was drinking before, I could not drink it black. It just did not taste good to me black. This Cafe Bustelo coffee, I got the grounds, the coffee ground. No, not the grounds, the beans, and I grind it myself, and I make it in my French press, and it's so good. It's so good. Anyway, I haven't been like diagnosed with anything. Like, I haven't been diagnosed with like ADHD or autism or ADHD. I've not even anxiety, I don't think, or OCD or whatever of the neurodivergent space. I don't know all the terms, but watching those videos helped me like cope with my own traits. I guess I feel seen because I'm like, that is literally me every single day. Like, every single day. And it just got worse after I had kids. And I just had my third. And like, I don't even remember what I had planned for today. I know I wanted to go to the library, take my kids to the library, but I'm just like, I don't know. I'm supposed to be doing a quilt, and I don't even really remember to do it. And then when I remember, it's like at like just the most awkward time for me to remember. I'm gonna add milk to my next cup of coffee. It's really good though. Cafe Bustelo is really good. I like it. And this is not typically a video I would post because I've been talking for 15 minutes and I feel like I'm pausing so much, and I don't know. I just like, what is this? You know? But then again, I could go see a doctor and they'll be like, "You're completely fine." And those videos would still, I would just quietly relate to those videos. And that's only scratching the surface, because I sat for a second and I was like, oh my gosh, I think that I had very OCD thoughts when I was a child. Like, I did. Like, I don't even want to talk about the thoughts that I had. I don't know why I was doing all of this stuff as a child. And then I stopped for a while, at least for some things, because I'm realizing that also a lot of my thoughts that I'd had, like, were very OCD like thoughts. But like, for instance, like, as a kid, I had this thing where I had to go like this. I can't even explain to you what it was. Like, I had to go like this in between the telephone poles in the car, and I had to count, how many times I did it. And I had to count like at least like 8 or 16, because I felt like it would add years to my life. And I did that for so long. And then I had to take off, like, I had to put on my shirt, like, let's say after the shower, I had to put on my shirt, take it off, put it back on, take it off. And then I would put it back on. And in my head, I had to do it twice. And I stopped doing it because I was like, wait, me taking it, like, putting it on, that's one. So, like, I was like, I have to put it on twice. So the first time I did it, I put it on, and then I obviously took it off, and then I put it back on. And then I would be like, wait, that's like 3 times, because I'm like taking it off and then I'm putting it back on. So that's like adds, okay, so it's like I put it on, I take it off, that's 2, and then I put it back on, that's 3. And I was like shooting for doubles, and I was like, I would never hit a double doing this. For a while I was doing it where it made sense to me, like, I have to put it on twice. But then, like, I think my own logic caught up with me, and I was like, wait, no, that's like 3 times. That doesn't make any sense. So I was doing that for months until I came to that resolution, and then I was like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. And before I, like, put myself through another spiral, I just stopped doing it. And I give credit to God for that, because I feel like God helped me. I don't know. I just give credit to God for that. But those were just 2 examples. Those are just 2 examples of what I used to do as a kid. Kid meaning, I think, like, the counting thing with my with my bite. I think that was like when I was like 8 years old. That's probably why I was counting 8s, because I was like 8 years, 8 more years to my life, or 16 more years to my life. And so yeah, that's probably why I did that. But yeah, so I grew out of a lot of the stuff that I did before. However, I guess there are a couple things that I still have to like realize that, hey, that's not normal, and kind of just try to stop thinking that way, because I pray about it, you know? And I think that finding God in the midst of something like that, and, you know, asking him to help me and all that kind of stuff, I think that he in his love and in his grace and mercy will help me overcome the stronghold, because I feel like OCD is just a bunch of strongholds, you know, that the enemy could just tie on to, and then it's like you start doing this repetitive thing because you think that you might die, or you think you want to add years to your life or whatever, and God just will tear those down, because he's like, that doesn't even make sense. You know, like God will just come to you and be like, wait, girl, that doesn't even make any sense. Not to invalidate you, but to be like, this is exactly what it is that you're thinking. And I think when I was having all those thoughts, coming out of those thoughts after doing it for years or for months, whichever thing that I was doing at the time, you know, God was just like, wait, you can't say that I'm a good God and still believe this, that you counting with your jaw is going to extend your life. You know what I mean? Like, he kind of just takes me out of that stronghold and he delivers me from it. Anyway, this is a long rant, but yeah, so I don't really know actually, because I was not diagnosed with anything. You know, I don't even know how to go about doing that. I keep meaning to make a call, I guess. I don't even know who I would call for that. But then I see that some people online are like charging like $1,000 to diagnose you, or, you know, to give you like a whatever, you know. And I'm like, I'm not gonna pay $1,000 right now for that, because our economy is not really the best right now, and if I had $1,000 right now, it would go to my children. Simple as that. Because winter is coming, and, you know, like, why not set them up for winter? You know, they kind of already are set up, but, you know, I can get a few things here and there for winter time. You know, so, I mean, but I really want to show my quilt stuff, you know, and stuff like that. I want to show my quilts. And I also have to make my quilt, and I can't decide if I want a puff quilt. I mean, I already got the polyfill. It's right there. I don't know, it just seems like a lot of work. Like, I cut all of those squares, and then now I have to cut more squares to put the polyfill in. I saw someone use strips, and I think I might literally just cut strips, because, like, I don't know how to do it though. Like, I don't know how I would sew the strip on there if it's like for polyfill, because then I have to like fold the edges. I don't really know. Anyway, I feel better after this talk. So,